Welcome back. In this video I'm going to show you how to add the controller, and after we are done adding the controller I'm going to show you on how to get the data from the database. And let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to go into my project files in here, and I'm going to go to its written controllers, and I'm going to make right click new, and I'm going to say I'm going to choose this API controller, and I'm going to call these as products controller and press enter. And when this is now created, you can see that it brought this attribute as now the API controller to indicate that this class is going to be used as an API controller. And also the loot, you can see that the loot will be API slash and the controller name. As we called it product, it will hold this as products, and the thing that we will write before the controller will be the one that is going to be used as a name. And you can see that also this class is deriving from the controller base, and this controller base is also provided by this ASP.NET MVC controller base. And in here, before we do anything, we need to add a constructor, and the constructor will help us to inject the application DB context into this controller. So I'm going to go ahead and press control dot, and I'm going to generate this controller in here, and inside this controller I'm going to bring the application DB context inside. So I'm going to say application DB context, and I'm going to call this as context. And after doing this, I'm going to initialize also the field from parameter. I'm going to also go and press control dot. I'm going to say create and assign field context, and this is how I'm going to do it. And I'm going to add underscore. I like it like this one, and I'm going to say context will be like this one. Okay, and after we are done injecting this database context into our products controller, we are going to start by adding a HTTP request, and we are going to start by adding the HTTP GET, as we're going to get the data from the database, and we will be still using GETs and until we are done adding the other things, and we will be also adding the update and delete, and also as well as the post. And in this case I'm going to add an endpoint, and the endpoint that I'm going to use will be the one that will help us to get the products from the database. And I'm going to say public async task, and this will be of action result. Also it will be a type of I'm going to provide the type because this is required. I'm going to say product, and I'm going to call this as get products like this one, and go inside here. I'm going to bring this down too, and I'm going to say var products will be equal to await, and I'm going to say context dot products, and I'm going to say to list, and I'm going to do like this one, to list async. Here I'm going to use to list async. Okay, and after doing this I'm going to go ahead and return okay, and after returning this okay, I'm going to wrap the product in here. Okay, and I'm going to add the semicolon, and what this endpoint will do, it is going to go ahead and get the list of all the products that we have into the database. Okay, and I'm going to start my application and test it by using the Postman. We installed the Postman, but we didn't use it again. And I'm going to go ahead first and open the Postman. I'm going to open it here. And as we are having it and we are ensure that it is opened, I'm going to go ahead and minimize these. And again, I'm going to go into my API project because that's where we are going to start. And I'm going to say .NET watch LAN. And once this is successfully started, I'm going to go ahead and copy this, and I'm going to copy this address, and I'm going to go into the Postman inside here. I'm going to go ahead and paste it, and I'm going to navigate to API and products, and make sure this is a get request. And whenever you click on send, you can see that it is now complaining that it wasn't able to verify that. I'm going to disable this SSL verification, and in this case you can see that I'm getting the product back from the database. And we are now getting all of these. But when you take a closer look, you can see that for the product type, you can see that it is nar, and for the product brand it is nar, and that's because we didn't add the what we call navigation properties, and we will see on how to do that in the next video. And again, I made the postman correction that contains all the requests that we will need in this training. I will have to import that, but before we do that, I'm going to add other endpoints that are needed. And as we were getting these products, I'm going to close this again. As we were getting this product back from the database, we can also add another endpoint to get the individual product. So I'm going to copy these and paste it, and here I'm going to add parameter that will be equal to ID, and here I'm going to call this as get product, and I need to pass in the ID. And again, here instead of getting tourist async, I'm going to say find async, and you're going to use this ID. There are some other data for the product brand and the product types that we may create other controllers for, but as they are related to the product, I think that we can also fetch them using one controller, and we need to add like a subloot to them instead of creating additional controllers, which can take so much time. And you can go ahead and do that if you want, but I want to simplify this as and make this as simple as possible. So I'm going to copy this for getting all the data back from the database, and I'm going to paste this 2 times, and make sure to edit according to your need. And first of all, we need to add the request in here, and this will be equal to http get, and I'm going to add this as brands, and I'm going to say this will be type of brand, product brand, and I'm going to say get brands, and again here I'm going to say brands, it'll be equal to product brands, and tourist async, and I'm going to do like this one. Okay, and after we're done with the brands, product brands, after we're done with the brands, we're going to go also to the product types, product type, and I'm going to call this as get types, like this one, and I'm going to say that this will go into the product type, product types, and I'm going to call this as types, and it is going to write back these types. All right, and the other thing that we need to do is to double check to see if you don't have any mistake into this and the points. And when you go back to the postman and you try to access, for example, an individual product, and you click send, you can see that I'm able to get this. And whenever you can also put like 5 or 6, you can get the product with the ID of 6. Wonderful. And again, whenever we come back here and you add the brands here and try to send this request, you can see that I'm getting the brands as intended. And also if I want to get the types, I can go ahead and do like this one, and you can see that this is bringing an error. And here we forgot to add an HTTP get, so I'm going to go ahead and do that, HTTP get, and I'm going to call this as types. Make sure you check this whenever you're going, because you can mess up at some point. So let's send the request again. You can see that I'm getting all the types. All right, now we ensure that you get our data back from the database. But as I told you, whenever we were getting the products here, we were seeing that we're getting the nar on the product brand and the product type. We will see the fix in the next video. But as I told you, I'm going to import all the collections that I have, and they really help me to facilitate my work, as I will be sending the request without writing them manually. I'm going to click on import, and for this it is going to ask me to sign in. I'm going to go ahead and sign in into my browser, and I'm going to allow this. And again here I'm going to create a new workspace, or I'm going to click on skip. You can see that I'm having this collection, but I'm going to delete it and show you how to import one. So I'm going to go ahead and right click, and I'm going to say delete, and I'm going to delete this one, and you are going to import, and there I'm going to provide a correction file that you can go ahead and use. So I'm going to select the file from my file directory, and I'm going to import it. So it is in here, student data, it is in this one. I'm going to import it, and make sure to check the description for this file. I'm sure that I'm going to put it there. So it is going to be looking like this, and it is going to import, and it is going to be like this. You can see that it is called the HANA shop. It has this for API basics, where we are going to be able to get the product. So let's go ahead and say get products. So whenever I go ahead and click on send, you can see that I'm getting all the products back. And whenever we want to get the product for individual ID, you can see that it is prepared for you. You can go ahead and import this, and you are ready to go. All right, so let's make this the end of our video. We're going to come back to fix these nar values from our data, and you will see that in the next video. See you there.